Hi fam, this is my trip report video for the Dharma Artist Collective Publish Something Significant. I just want to start off by saying how incredibly grateful I am for this community and all of you watching. I think without this, I don't know if I would have gotten this book out of me. So seriously, I'm incredibly grateful. And if you are an artist or an entrepreneur and you're not part of the collective, click the link in the description and we will welcome you with open arms. So please come join us. Let's get to it. So like I said, I published my children's book. I illustrated, wrote, and self-published through KDP called Catch the Wind. And I wrote this book for me, for little 5-year-old Michelle, who needed to hear this message. And I think beyond that, there are a lot of children that need to hear this message. It's about a little bird who lost her mom and she became an angel in the sky. And she's in her nest and she knows that she has to learn to fly all on her own. And it starts, the story arc, she starts sad and in grief and fear, and she slowly builds up courage and faith and eventually lets go and starts flying. And she, even beyond that, she flies, but she realizes that her mom is actually the wind beneath her wings, and that her mom was there and knew where she was in the nest, and that was safe, but her mom's with her everywhere she goes. And so if she lives life to the fullest and seeks out more love, then she knows her mom is still with her there. And I think sometimes grief can be a cage that we lock ourselves in. And I was born into it. My mom passed away 28 years ago. And there's a part of you that grips onto your sadness so tightly as a form of love for them. And that can be true. And it is true. But also, they want you to go out there. And they want you to experience life to the fullest, despite them not being physically here with you, because they're still with you no matter what. And I did write this poem 3 years ago and I knew it then, but becoming a mother myself has given me such a beautiful opportunity and honor to understand what a mother's love is. And God forbid anything were to ever happen to me, I would hope that Elliot knew I wanted him to live life so fully and so fully expressed in his highest good, and that I'm going to be there with him no matter what. And I would not want him to live trapped in grief. I really wouldn't. So I think not only children who have lost a parent would benefit from hearing that framework, but I think anyone who has lost anybody in their lives, and even beyond that, even children who haven't lost a parent or a grandparent, maybe they just are longing for a little bit of guidance that maybe they're not getting. And foster children, just for them to know that they are more than capable and able to fly, even without that guidance, and that there are unseen forces helping you. There really is. Even when you feel so alone, you're never really alone. And a children's book is really special because it is so awesome that as adults we are healing and growing and learning so much about ourselves. But it would be even more awesome if we focused on the youth and gave them that guidance and that framework as a child, because you are so impressionable when you are young, and it could really set them up to have a resilience in life that really serves them. So I do want to read the poem to you guys, and if you want to see the illustrations, go get my book. I'm super excited that it's published, and the link is below, and you can grab a book and check out the illustrations and gift it to children in your life or anyone who could use it. Even adults, anybody could read this and get a little bit of a nudge of love and guidance. All right, catch the wind. I was just a baby when I lost my mommy. She became an angel in the clouds. And even though she no longer feeds me, I still look for her amongst the crowds. I miss her in the morning when we'd sing our favorite tune. I miss her stories of flying before we fell to sleep. So I look up and talk to the moon until I'm brave enough to take first leap. Time will come when I need to learn to fly. I see the signs. I know we must migrate. How will I find the strength? Can I still cry? What if I fall behind? What if I'm not great? How will I know what's going to be best? I don't know anything beyond this nest. She shows me she's near through the whistle and the breeze, when her love feels as close as the clouds in the sky. I feel a bit scared, but my heart starts to ease when the warmth of the sun shines on me up high. If I could see her just one more time, well, she can see me from her place in the sky, so I'll tell her I miss her, but that I'll be fine. I'll never give up, and I'll always try. I know I'm getting stronger every day. I know I can take flight in this weather. I know I look like her, that's what they say. I know in my song, not just my feathers. I have said goodbye to things I hold dear. I'll be back to visit this time next year. I'm dancing with her in this grand rising, but before I go, I begin to pray. I'm grateful for me, the sun is shining. It gives me faith that today's the day. I've let go. I'm fully fledged flying now. I caught the wind. Was that because of you? I was scared to leave, but I see how. Your guidance was the sky. I always knew. I'm soaring the world, the ocean first. You told me that I'd love it. Well, you were right. I'm living this life, fully immersed. And when I'm up here, I see you in flight. Amongst the clouds with my angel in the sky, I can hear her singing, fly, baby, fly. I love it. It just makes me so, so happy. And the illustrations really go with the mood. I was inspired by the sky because I lived in Huntington Beach for 6 years and I was right on the water, which is such a gift. And I loved every minute of it and I never took it for granted. And I was up on the roof deck all the time to watch every sunset. And I felt, because I was on the 3rd story, there was nobody around me except for the ocean and the sky. And I felt so seen and I felt so immersed into nature. And every single sunset was different and it brought a different energy and a different mood. And sometimes it was oranges and reds and pinks, and sometimes it was purples and blues, and sometimes the clouds were really big and fluffy, and sometimes they were clear. And it always just brought an energy with it that I really adored, and I really wanted to bring that into this piece. And every illustration that goes with the scene kind of sets the tone, you know, when she's in grief and sadness versus courage versus flying. That was my inspiration. And I do want to get into the process of how I actually got this shit done. Okay, so like I said, I wrote this poem 3 years ago. And you ask, did it take me 3 years to do these illustrations? No, it didn't. It took me 50 days. 50 fucking days. And I actually think that was really beneficial because I was in the project deep every day. It made my illustrations consistent. It made the mood and the story arc more clear to me. And I think over the past few years when I would leave and come back and my style would change and I would try a different medium and I would scrap it and I never stuck with it long enough to finish it through. And when I look at what really made the difference of how I finished it now versus 3 years ago when I didn't have a child and I actually had way less priorities then, but for some reason I was able to get it done now when I had so many more priorities. And it is just the commitment and the follow through to the very last moment and not giving up. And there were some serious, real sacrifices that I had to implement the past 50 days. There's some obvious sacrifices, no scrolling. I didn't watch TV late at night because if I was going to be up and not sleeping, I was drawing. I am a mother, like I said, and I have a full-time job. So communication with your family is number one, I would say. I know so many people who blame their non-action, and I've done it before, on being so busy supporting and taking care of everyone else. And that feels so true when you're in it, believe me. But your partner and your family cannot read your mind. And if you express to them, hey, I need 50 days of pockets of time, of focused time to get this done. I really want to get this done. It is super important to me. And if you're actually doing the thing, they would be more than happy to support you. And there were some non-obvious sacrifices, like I made dinner less often. I usually make dinner 5 times a week, and I hardly made dinner. I mean, I did a few times, but that was a sacrifice. Working out. I've not really worked out in the past 50 days a lot. And your social life, I said no to a lot of things. And there were a lot of kind of valid excuses that I came up with while I was trying to get to this finish line and kind of convincing myself that there's no way I'm going to do it. And I remember telling myself I should really wait for a time that's not so busy. And I caught myself and immediately laughed, like, when the fuck is that? Like, let's be real. When the fuck is that going to be? And we're always busy. We always got things going on, celebrations and people to celebrate and family and, traveling. And these are all real things. My family got sick during these past 50 days, but it was important to me. And I knew it was. And I did not want to get to the end of this and know that I didn't try my hardest. And if I got to the end and I knew I tried my hardest and maybe I didn't quite make it, that would have been one thing, but I knew that I could. So I just really worked backwards on my timeline, how many illustrations I had to do. I have 50 days. By this week, I need to get so far. Towards the end, I was not where I wanted to be, and I just buckled down. There were a lot of nights that I stayed up till 2 a.m., woke up and worked my full day job as an architect. So yeah, it was a lot, and I'm not going to lie about that, but I do think that 50 days is so worth it. Just kind of honing in and really watering that garden for it to flourish, and then you can maintain it after, but just all of your energy there. And the only 2 things I did not sacrifice was mothering and my full-time job. But I'm so happy it's finished. I am looking forward to finding balance again and getting back into a workout routine and taking good care of myself and waiting for the next project to start. And I think having a deadline and doing it the way I did really served me. And I think it might serve a lot of you other creatives if you just want to try it out. I've always been a person that has multiple projects going at once. I never wanted to stifle my creativity. And while I believe that's true, I do believe that saying, wait, let's actually get one thing done. Just one thing. Because if you're someone who keeps breaking promises to yourself, it really feels shitty. And I was there. I was doing that. I mean, this book has been 3 years in the process, and I did 80% of the work in 50 days. And I did not want to keep breaking promises to myself. And I really had the mentality of done over perfect. And it's not that I don't think I tried really hard and that my illustrations are super cool. I love them. I think as an artist, you can always look back and say, maybe I would have done something different. And that's great. That's honing in our style and our taste. but just being proud of actually finishing something. There's so many people who are great artists that we would never even know because they don't finish their work and they don't go to the next level and release it for everyone to see on top of that. Yeah, so there will never be a better time. And the time is now. I do think that this book came at just the right time for me. I am a mother. I really felt this message deeply versus 3 years ago. Although I don't want to use that divine timing as the reason why things don't happen when you're not putting the work in. So there is that fine balance, but all you have to do is try again. Release the shame, release the guilt, try again. And there were a lot of emotions that came up, just being fearful of what people might think, that the illustrations won't be good enough, that the message won't be received, and I just kept returning to love. I'm making this book out of love. This message is from love, and I want people to interpret it in a way that serves them, however that is. It doesn't need to be over-explained. It doesn't need to be proven. You just release it and allow people to experience your art, because that's the best part. It means something different to everybody. So, yeah, I found really true alchemy in many ways as an artist, as a mother, as a daughter. I found so much alchemy by creating this book and releasing it, and now I am going to try and sell the crap out of it and drop it off to maybe some foster homes and give it away to schools. I just want this to be in the hands of as many kids as possible. So big love if you made it all the way through. Thank you so much for watching this video. And yeah, go check my book out, please. And if you love it, please leave a review. It's so awesome that we have the ability as artists to self-publish our work and not even have to put the legwork in, and people can experience our art. What an amazing time we live in. So please write a review. It helps it grow. And so much love for all of you. I'm excited for you to check it out. Thank you.